Hi, I'm Mark Steelman, and this is the third game that I've done an unboxing for. But the funny story about this one is that I had gotten this one before the other two. Like I got this one almost 6 months ago, and when I did, in the big box, the shipping box, there was a note from Goblinko saying, please consider or please do these things before you play this game. And I think it was like kidding, right? But one of the things it said is they suggested making an unboxing video. And I was interested in that kind of thing, but I had never really done it before. And I didn't really have the right equipment to do it at that time. So I decided to wait to open the box until I could do it properly. So I guess actually it's almost been a year that this box has been sitting on a shelf, and I wasn't ready to do an unboxing video, and I have a lot of games, which I will probably do more videos on games that I have had in the past, not just unboxing videos. But I figured that now is the time because right now Goblinko is doing a fourth printing of this game, and you can get it on Kickstarter. And I thought that maybe doing one while you can actually buy it might be a good change of pace. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to see if I can open this. Now this is a dungeon crawl game. Now what that means is you have a character that is your character, and you go through and fight monsters, right? And your ability to win the game is directly connected to how well you do in these various combats. So the other thing about this game is that it's a cooperative game, and you're playing with your friends against basically a deck of cards. So you move around, draw a card, see what happens, kind of thing. And so that's what kind of game it is. But what really, and I actually have quite a few of these kind of games, but what really kind of caught my attention about this one was the art. The art is by, and hopefully he put his name on the back. His name is something like Sean Auberg or something like that. His name is not on this box anywhere where I can see it. But anyway, I think it's Sean Auberg. But we will take a look inside here. And it's just this crazy art style that's unlike anything else in my collection. And it reminded me of like a very retro kind of 80s vibe. And I really liked just the art style. And that really captured my attention and ultimately my pledge right there. It's just, it was different in that way. And I have heard good things, because I actually got it on like the third printing, and or maybe it was the second printing, but nonetheless, when I got it, it wasn't the first printing, so there were some reviews out there, and so the reviews were good, and I loved this art. Now watch this. First thing you see when I open up the box. Look at that crazy board. Oh, it's upside down. Wow, I don't want to rip it. Sometimes if you drop these things, you'll rip them. Dungeon Degenerates Hand of Doom. Check out how crazy that art is. So there's the board, and you can see about how big it is compared to me. Definitely a smaller footprint than the last one I did. The last game I unboxed had a gigantic board. And then we've got some, next thing in here is some characters that you can be. And all of these characters are just like crazy also. It's all in that same like kind of bonkers art style. These are kind of stuck together, but they're coming apart okay. So I'm going to show these to you. But again, what really is the hook in this thing is the art. And then, what's this? Oh, this is kind of a player aid. There's 2 of them. There's an icon reference, status conditions, combat round, defense roll, attack roll. So this is just like the short version of the rules. And then here is the other one. It says sequence of play, map actions, rest actions, and then territories. Information about the territories on the back is different kinds of encounters. These are all just like basically explanation of keywords that they have in the game. So apparently there's quite a few of them because there was 2 sheets of that. There's a book of missions. Again, the same crazy art. But again, this is on Kickstarter right now. So this book is really just mostly text. There is, I just mentioned that there's 22 pages, including the back, which is, I think, the same information as one of these cards. Yeah. Just a different picture, but that's the same information right there. So this is the rule book. Now that was the mission booklet, 20-page mission booklet. This is the rule book. Has this crazy picture of these guys in prison. So the premise of this game is that you are this kind of bad guy that lives in this crazy world, and the first thing you do is escape from prison. And then you're trying to run from the police. But like the way this world is, it's like this really messed up world where the police are also messed up. It's a very, very, I don't know how to explain it, dystopian, I guess is the right word, dystopian world. So let's just take briefly, there's a picture of the game all set up. I'm not going to set this one up today. I'm going to kind of keep this video shorter. And this booklet is actually, back page would be 38 pages. So it's a fairly long rule book. But I think I'm going to try to do another video on this where I explain the rules. I think I've been doing unboxing videos mostly because they're really easy. And I'm going to try to bridge into a rule explanation video. I did do one video that was painting, but again, I'm trying to branch out a little bit and try some different things. But this is, again, I'm doing this because I feel like that Sean and his family over at Goblinko are kind of got me motivated to do this in the begin with. So I wanted to go back and do what they asked me to do, which was basically promote their game. They're not paying me to do this. They asked every single one of their backers to make a video like this, and I'm doing it. So here is a sheet. These are really thick. That's something that kind of strikes me about how thick that is. And the characters are standees. There's a character right there. Let me kind of hold that closer. Those 2 at the top there on the left-hand side are characters. Is that your left hand? I guess it'd be your right-hand side. From my side, looking at it, it's on the left. And then here's some more. But these are all standees. He has some miniatures. But honestly, I chose not to get miniatures because it was going to make the game take up a lot more room. And I really felt like that the main thing that I love about this game is the art and the crazy colors that Sean likes to use. And I wasn't going to get that if I painted it myself, right? And since what I loved most about it was his use of color and his use of just, design. I wanted him to color it for me. And the best way for me to do that was to get the standees. So also, it was cheaper that way. So here is a bunch of cards, and I'm not going to show you every one of these cards, but I'm going to show you some of them. Now these cards, they're a little thin in my edition. I wish they were a little thicker, but they are not like paper thin. They're just, I tend to like them a little more thick than this, but they're fine. I may sleeve them, but honestly, I think I will probably play it at least a couple times before I sleeve it. So these are the monsters. Now watch this. I'm just going to try to go through these quickly to just give you a sense of it, because these are basically just monsters. They've got some special attributes, attack, improved various stats. This is pretty standard fare for this kind of game. Again, haven't read the rule book, but you get the idea. But notice that so far, I don't think I've seen any repeats, like at all. Like, let's just kind of like rifle through them right quick. I mean, there's obviously a pattern here. Some of them look similar to each other, but I think this is an original piece of artwork on every single card. And that is extremely unusual for a game. Usually there's like 12 kinds of monsters and they just repeat, right? There's 10 of this one, 10 of that one, 10 of the other one. I was just playing a game the other night that was like that. That there was actually 10 of each card and there was 12 different cards, and but I haven't seen a single duplicate yet. So my assumption is that every single one of these cards has a unique piece of art on it. And again, you're going through this as fast as I am, so I'm not promising you there's not duplicates, but it would be weird to duplicate only one card and not, more. So even these weird little elder sign things are different. So that's weird. So you're going to be having random encounters that are truly random, because you have that big deck of cards and they're all different. So let's see what this other deck is. Is it just more monsters? Let's see. Oh, so apparently what this is that there are different zones on the board, because this says wetlands monster, lowlands monster. And so you're not going through the entire deck by itself, I don't think. I think let me turn this around where you can see it. I don't even know what this stuff is. This thing says, oh, these are loot. So this is the kind of loot you get in this world. Oh, a light pistol. There's something halfway normal. And here's a mystic geode. See, everything is just kind of off. But in a way that it reminds me of this artist that I remember from like Mad Magazine. I think his name was R. Crumb. And he had a similar art style, except he tended to do more like something closer to our real world. It was not the real world, but it was closer. So this is all just original artwork throughout, and that is just crazy. Now that is also going to mean that this game is super random, because, if every single thing is different, then you just kind of get what you get and you don't get upset, right? You need to know that going into this game, that every single one of these are different. Well, that's cool. So I'm put this down. We got some little dinkified dice. I'm not in love with how small those dice are. But I mean, they are just D6s, so I may just go get bigger D6s and put them in the box, because that would be pretty simple to do. And they have little empty bags. Let me move this out of the way. There's not a lot else in here except all these amazing cards with this amazing artwork. These are just plastic bags to put your cardboard bits in once you punch them out. So here's the last thing that you haven't seen yet. Oh, here's a bunch of, this is the kind of like encounter. This is the wetlands encounter. And these are things you read whenever you draw this card. You read it and something happens. This one has like a choice, or maybe you have to do a test and you have one result: approach or ignore, and it tells you what happens there. Read it at your own risk. So if spoilers, warning right there. but I'm just going through it really fast. These are all encounters with words on them. These are items of some kind. I think these are more loot cards. So this is the rest of the loot cards. So what I'll do is I'll take all these and I will put them in rubber bands by type. And it's just, but like I said, because I bought this because I wanted the crazy artwork, I certainly got what I asked for. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it really delivered what was promised in that regard. So I'm like I said, I haven't played it, but I've read the reviews. They say the reviews say it's good. It plays a little bit like Pandemic, where monsters start popping up in different areas and you have to go deal with them, or things will get worse and worse in that area. Like they linger, and if you let monsters build up too much in one area, they start making monsters appear in other areas. So you're running around the board beating back the monsters. I don't know what all this is. These are teeny cards. I don't really know what all that is. But these are, oh, they look like special abilities. These are special ability cards. They give you your character extra abilities. I'm not gonna, since I don't really want to spoil anything, but you get the idea. They got a lot of little text on little cards right there. And let's see. And this world is divided up into like city zones and wilderness zones. These are more little cards with a bunch of text on it. Again, I don't want to spoil too much. There's a void, stalker, curse. There's compulsive gambler, madness. Oh, that's apparently an effect that can happen to you. And I'm sure that, again, because there's just so much variety, the game is going to have to be kind of random. But that doesn't necessarily mean that I won't like it. It's just, you need to know going into it that you're along for the ride. You're going on a trip with Sean, and like I said, you get what you get and you don't get upset. But I'm actually really excited about trying it. You know, just like a good D&D campaign, you trust the DM and you play, and what happens, happens. Now let me show you one more thing. There was an expansion that I got, and I want to show you that. All right, in the printing that I backed, there was the expansion Mean Streets. Dungeon Degenerates Mean Streets expansion box. So in the game, as I understand it, the cities are in like one space. Like you go to the city, now you're on the city space. And before you would just have an encounter there. But what this expansion does is expand what can happen in the cities. Like you can go to maybe merchants that you can't find other places and things like that. But haven't actually opened it yet. So that is what the main thing of that expansion was. And you can get this expansion in the new Kickstarter. And then I also got the City Scum, which was just extra monsters that only exist in the city. Okay, so let's just go ahead and open up the City Scum first. So here is the City Scum small pack. Here is Guttermilk item food. Let's just see what kind of nonsense is going on here. That's clearly something you wouldn't want to drink, right? It says at any time during the map action phase, you may discard this card to remove fatigued and make a contest. If you fail, become poisoned. If you pass and your highest die is 4 or higher, become invigorated. So basically, you can drink this and get food, but you have to see if you become poisoned. All right. And then there's the gift. Each immunized adventurer in the Hand of Doom space must take a contest. If you fail, you lose immunized. Each adventurer in the Hand of Doom space gains D6 plague counters. So you get the idea of what kind of stuff is going on here. snout beast, a couple extra monsters here. The same kind of art that you come to expect from the core box. And a couple of extra, an extra encounter, a settlement encounter. So there's just one extra encounter, and then some information about some new abilities that are only in this little pack. All right, so that's what you get in the little pack. That was the City Scum. Now let's take a look at the other Mean Streets. Now let's take a look at the Mean Streets box. So the Mean Streets, let me move this out of the way. Inside I have the expansion manual. It is, there's a plague. That's wonderful. And the smell of disease. Okay, that's a problem. So this is a 10-page little booklet on how the Mean Streets works. Here is another, outbreak cards, immunized. That's fitting. This was before pandemic. I am confident that this was designed before the pandemic. Like I said, I've had this for a while. But there's a couple of extra people in here. The Mean Streets came with 1, 2, 3, 4 more people that you can be. This says unlicensed surgeon, fugitive fop, mendicant monk, and sickly soldier. So someone likes, what's it called when you have the same first letter on each word? Assonance? No, that's the same vowel sound. Alliteration, that's the word we're looking for. So here are the tokens that it comes with. You've got, again, some the 2 standees for 2 of the characters and the 2 standees for the other 2 characters. And we've got some more cards here. So we've got some more abilities. These are the little abilities. Oh, this says danger on it. That sounds promising. Danger, wetlands outbreak. Roll d6, place a plague counter at 1 and 2. Fishmonger camp, gutfish forward, black tree, sunken village, and the Tower Island. So there's a new threat deck, I guess, and there's got the teeny cards for that. And I'll show you these cards up close now too. All right, so we know what we're expecting. We're expecting all these cards are the same, are different. Fluffy Familiar, the Holy Cudgel, the Holy Oil, Inoculation, so that sounds promising. Painkiller, Perfume, Pistol, Knife, Plague Bender Mask, Plague, I can't read that upside down. Plague Finder Mask, Plague Finder Mask, Shoddy Helmet, Snake Oil, Surgery Saw, Trench Rot, Trench Spike, War Flail, Rod of Filth, and then there's some bad guys. The Drowning Dwarf, the Famine Knight, the Plague Knight, the Cauldron of Contagion. Oh, so it's apparently a magically caused disease. Waste Witch, Totem Hand. I can't really read these upside down. And then there's a bunch of events like we saw on the other one with lots of writing that I will go past really fast so that you can see that there's lots of them, but I won't spoil anything. Okay, that's all of those. And so there were some items, there were some new monsters, and there was a bunch of adventure cards. All right, so this is some skills: bleeding, call fire, dilettante. I'm reading this upside down. Forlorn hope. To the front. I'm not going to try to keep reading this upside down. Mutated strain. Oh, so this has to do. So apparently a big theme in this expansion is some kind of disease, some kind of plague. So that's everything for Dungeon Degenerates Hand of Doom. And I'm really excited to finally get this game out of the box. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that it tells you what you need to know if this is the kind of thing for you. Like I said, I really think the biggest hook for this is the art. You either are just like, that is awesome, or you hate it. And that's fine if you hate it, you know. They have other games out there, believe me. So, but this for me is just absolutely like exciting and hilarious, and that's a great combination. So I've shown you today Dungeon Degenerates Hand of Doom core box. I've shown you the Mean Streets expansion, and I've shown you the City Scum mini expansion. There are some other expansions that I have not gotten just because, you know, and I'm not just saying this is a problem or whatever. It is what it is, but it's kind of expensive. And so I left some things with him and figured after I'd played it, I might get some more. But they have additional characters that you can buy in packs of, I think, 6 or 8, I can't remember. If you go to the Kickstarter page, you'll be able to figure it out. There's 2 other packs of characters that I didn't get. There are additional adventures that I didn't get. They come in like little comic books that or basically just books that have more information in it to be able to do additional adventures, almost like a D&D kind of campaign. And also just a lot of flavor text and more art. He even did an art book that was just a book of his art that you can get on the Kickstarter page. I really didn't get all of that stuff, but it's cool, and I'm glad that I got what I got, and I look forward to learning the game, and I'm going to get back with you with some videos on how to play some of my games. I've done several unboxing videos. I think it's about time to try to branch out and do a teaching video and see how that goes. Thank you for joining me, and God bless.